Hi friends, it's Mr. Glazer. Today I want to talk about a little music theory. I want to just touch very briefly on note rhythms, note durations. The most common note we see is the quarter note, which lasts for one beat. So when you see one of these, you typically play or sing it and then move right on to the next note. Of course, all of this is very much an oversimplification. This is just to get you started. The next most common note is the half note, which counts for two. So when you see a half note, you have to count for two in your head, whether you're singing it or playing it. The next one is the whole note. The whole note lasts a whole measure in the time signature 4/4, which is the most common of the time signatures. Of course, if the time signature is less than 4/4, you can't have a whole note at all. And the same would apply to any of these notes too. In between the the half note and the whole note is the dotted half note. The dot adds extra to a half note and makes it last for 3. Smaller than a quarter note is the eighth note. An eighth note lasts for 1/2 of a beat. It's typically the fastest we see notes for, say, early music, for basic level music. They can go indeed much faster. There is no limit to how fast notes can go. The highest I've ever seen, if you keep adding flags, the number doubles. So if you had 2 flags, it would be a 16th note, and it keeps going. The highest I've ever seen is 128th notes, which is blindingly fast. Pretty much, I interpret that to mean as fast as you could possibly play. And anytime you see notes that fast, that means the regular quarter notes are in fact going to be quite slow. All of these note rhythms are, of course, relative. If a song has a fast tempo, eighth notes go very fast. If a song has a slow tempo, well, they might go relatively slow. So eighth notes have a flag on them if they're single. If they're double, they have the flags tied together into a beam. The last note I want to show you is a very rare one. I don't see it very often. It's called a breve. Sometimes people call it a double whole note, because that's what it is. It is twice the length of a regular whole note, so it goes for 8 beats. In order to have that, though, you would need to have a time signature that has 8 quarter notes in it, or 2 whole notes. Very rare, maybe not very rare, but I don't see it very often in the kind of music I play. I've seen it in large orchestral music and choir music sometimes. But it's a pretty rare kind of note. I wanted to make sure you saw it. That yes, this is the biggest note there is that I know of. There might be bigger. Anyway, I hope that was interesting. I'll try to do more music theory things if people are interested in that. Have a good day. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thanks. Bye-bye.